What's going on, my good people? This your boy Lap Up the Entertainer here to grade FAMU's field shows. Okay, these are the field shows that they was able to perform. Just something to put out there, and I wanted to grade their field shows just put a grade to them and just to rank this overall season for them and to give them honest feedback on their performances. And also, I'm also doing a tier list, so it helps people understand who is the strongest band, etc. We want honesty. We had people do voting polls, but we don't know how trusted those voting polls are. So I'm gonna give it to you raw and uncut. So we're gonna grade the rest of their field shows. If you want to see some of their battles, please consider looking at some of my content, the things that I grade them. It has been an interesting season for FAMU. They had some dubs, but they also had some losses. But hey, they have their strengths and they have their weaknesses. That's all I have to say. But one thing I know definitely FAMU excels at is the field show. So, I'm expecting to see a lot of good, interesting, and entertaining things from them. What I would say before I tell you my grading scale, if you're new to this family, new to this channel, please consider subscribing. And if you've been rocking with your boy all this time, please consider leaving a like here. Be a part of this family. I'm going to be honest with you, fair, honest critique. And when it comes down to band content, all HBCUs and show style bands, that's what I'm going to be bringing you, okay? So, just to let y'all know that in advance that, there's no favoritism. This is not me bashing the organization. I'm legitimately trying to give them a grade to showcase their strengths and weaknesses and what they can work on in the future. So if you're a band's mate, again, consider subscribing, or your alumni or whatever. Be a part of this family. Learn something if you're new. All right? So please look to the cards next to me so you know what we'll be grading. We're going to be grading entrance, songs, formation, dancers, breakdown, and overall creativity. Okay? So, with FAMU, they do not have any dancers. Okay? At all. They don't have any dancers. So, with that being said, I don't think I can grade from them is entrance, songs, formation, breakdown, and creativity. Okay? Maximum points they can make in each category is 5. Okay? If they're able to get all these besides dancers a 5, if they would get entrance, songs, formation, breakdown, I would give them a perfect field show rating simply because they don't have any dancers. Okay? But if they excel and get a 25, that's even better because I give them extra incentive. Okay? But not all bands can get a perfect field show rating from me, and we're not even talking about creativity as well. Okay? So just want to highlight that and give y'all some aspect on what I'm expecting out of them. Okay? Now, if FAMU does not receive a 5 in any of those categories, besides the creative department, they will not get a perfect field show rating. Okay? But if they're able to manage to get a 25 or a 24, I will give them some sympathy. Okay? So, just want to throw that out there. It's either 25 or 24 for FAMU. If they can read that out, if they can get that, I will put a dub on their name. If not, they will not get into losses, but I will know where they stand as far as their strength in their season. Okay? So, I'm doing this for all bands. I'm not just doing it for FAMU. I did something similar to this like for Bethune-Cookman, so if you want to see that, you can check that out above. But, again, I'm just grading them, their performance, and based off their grades is going to give me the clarification, should I put a dub on their name or not. Alright? So, again, I'm doing a tier list. Alright? So, this tier list is going to help me decide who was the strongest band in the SWAC and what other bands can work on. And it's not just going to be other things, it's going to be different categories I'm going to be grading as well. Like, who had the strongest book, who was the powerhouse, who was the most consistent, who had the best field shows. So every band has a chance to shine depending on what I'm grading, on what I'm putting in the ranking system for the tier list, okay? So it gives people a chance to understand these HBCU bands a little bit better and what they might want to, especially these high schoolers, what they want to make a decision on when they want to go to college and make that decision as well. So with that being said, I did enough rambling. Let's get into the action, okay? We're going to do the halftime show for Mississippi Valley State, and then we have another one for Southern, okay? I like Paparazzi's videos better than the 100 because it's more media team sensitive, and you know I don't like media team sensitive stuff because I can barely get everything, but sometimes the media team does do a good job capturing everything on the field. You know, I'm not so much, I don't want to see the close-up on these people. I want to actually see them marching 8-5, getting to their spots, etc. I want to see these formations clearly, okay? So with that being said, you know, let's get into the action. So Mississippi Valley State's first. Let's see how they go. This is a 12-minute, 35-minute field show. 35-second field show. Let's get to it.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. From the highest of Southern Hills, here in the capital of Florida, please welcome what has not only become known as America's band, but also one of the most exciting marching bands in the world. The incomparable, magnificent, fabulous, and fantastic Florida University's Marching 100. First, the sound.
Always had a good sound, ladies and gentlemen.
I was just feeling sick. And it was the worst day. Mom was crying.
Please enjoy this long-time drill to the sounds of After Hours by Tonight, Just Fine, Mary J. Blige, and Deep Down by A-Rock and Emma Irene.
5 now.
Our conductor is Ralph J. Paul, assistant director of band, director of the Lord Bands.
Very pretty formations. Nice following the leader.
Take it back to the 80s. What you think about it? Making that orange brighter and that green tighter. Random patterns, original.
Good use of the field.
The consistency of 78 years, 1946 to 2024. the drum majors, piccolos, clarinets, saxophones, trumpets, French horns, trombones, baritones, tubas, percussion, the flagpole, the 100, an institution since June 1 of 1946, when Dr. William P. Foster first arrived on the highest of 7 hills
I love a good scramble.
here in Tallahassee. The Bahamas, Paris, France, Disney World.
Shout out to the drum majors.
Parade in Pasadena, California. Multi-Super Bowl appearances. The 100 has done it all. Truly, America's band. Now from the pen of the legendary FAMU arranger and professor, Lindsey Sargent, with baton in the hands of our director of bands, Dr. Shelby Chipman. The year 2020. The song is The Memories of Her in Surround Sound.
Very clean, very smooth.
The difference is creamy.
Guys, UMGC is waiving their application fee through May 30th. So if you've been thinking about a degree or
FAMU pin game is crucial, man.
The 100. Let's do it to the west side. And now, give them the reason why Mississippi Valley Band stayed home. TGIF by Gorilla.
tad bit smoother.
Off of TikTok.
That's pretty dope.
It's time to spell it out. Yeah, bro.
Man, that's crazy. That's so smooth.
There's a difference between experiment and experience. Any questions? Staff, our director, Dr. Shelby Chipman, Mr. Lindsay Sergeant, Dr. Sheila L. James, Dr. Nicholas B. Thomas, Mr. Raph Jean Paul.
Alright, they finna march off the field. So, let me give that a grade, okay? So, entrance was a 5. Songs was a 5. Formations a 5. Breakdown, I'm gonna give that a 4. Creative is a 5, okay? Let's give them their grade so they know how they did. They did fairly good. Was not a perfect field show, and I'm going to tell y'all why. But they got a 24. Definitely have a 24. I think that they did what they said they was going to do. Wasn't nothing really bad in that department. A lot of the creative came at the end. They kind of wowed me with a lot of the things that they did, especially when they did the Yeah Glow. I wasn't expecting the circle thing, but for it to turn into Yeah Glow, that was even awesome. And for them to do the thing at the end with them laying down, that was pretty dope. That was kind of like, you know. But everything else was good. Almost a perfect. In my eyes, almost a perfect. I just felt like the breakdown just needed to be a slightly cleaner. They got a 4 in that, which is good because they had the length. I just think that, you know, with the dance department at that time for this band, it was just not as clean as it should have been. Some people were just kind of sticking out as far as doing certain moves. It's not as smooth as it should have been, if that makes sense. It should have been a little tad bit cleaner. It was just some people, even with the step off, with the step down, some people was moving their right leg instead of their left. You kind of get what I'm getting at. It was just some stuff that needed to be sprucing up, you know. And I think they would have been good, you know, as far as that. I'm not going to point any arrows out on anybody. I'll let y'all look that up for yourselves. But y'all kind of get what I'm getting at as far as that, though. But they end up getting a dub on their name, so there's their record. There's that dub. They did really good on that field show. Alright? Really good. I think they deserve a dub for that field show because it was it did what it needed to do. Okay? So, we moving on. If y'all made it this far in the video, please consider liking the video. Really means a lot. And again, if you skipped ahead, please consider subscribing. It means so much to me. You know, we can get into the action again. Same grading scale as before, so yeah. I would say that long as Yeah, y'all not getting y'all feelings about these grades. It's nothing but love here, okay? That's what it's about. It's nothing but love here, so just make sure that, don't bash your boy if you feel like I got something wrong. Again, I'm only one person, but I'm giving it a fair shake. So, I mean, they're doing pretty good. FAMU just really good when it comes down to field shows. They just a strong band for that field show. They turn up and turn out, That's how I see it. So, all right, moving on. This is them when they went against Southern. Now, again, this is media team footage. So, again, not everything I'm going to be able to see simply because some stuff is going to be covered up. But we're going to go with what we got. All right, let's do it.
Not only become known as America's band, but also one of the most exciting marching bands in the world. The incomparable, magnificent, fantastic, fabulous Florida University's Marching 100. And before you is the reason why Southern Band stayed home. First, the sound. This show is for you.
Pi is a free browser extension that blocks ads on your favorite sites. You install it once, and then you can use the internet freely. And you
kind of missed that aspect. I get the side angle, but I wish they were just in the center. You know.
Experience.
There is some 8-to-5 issues in this field show. They're very slight.
Piccolo, clarinets, saxophone, trumpets, French horns, baritone,
definitely feel like it could be better.
Trombone, the tubas, the percussion, the flagchord, and across the drum majors. This is something that Southern dreams about. And now, from the pen of our Ranger, Professor Lindsay Sargent, please welcome our Director of Bands, Dr. Shelby Chipman. A medley from the Queen of Hip Hop and R&B, Mary J. Blige. You know the song, I'm Going Down, and Everything. Any questions?
Talking about holding it, dog. You talking about holding it. Woo.
Eastside, we didn't forget you. It's time. Nasty, you my everything. Get it sexy. And work me out. Be my everything.
It's like they got the energy. They really do got the energy. It just needs to be a tad bit cleaner. You know?
Work me out. Now you see why Southern stayed home and unplugged the jukebox. Take it right under this. Tonight, the 100 have got time to spare. And tonight, they will bring it on. And next week's homecoming show is a tribute to Frankie Beverly and Mays. Here's a snippet for next week's show. Before I let go. Our directors, Dr. Shelby Chiplin, the Celeste B. Sargent, Dr. Sheila L. James, Dr. Nicholas Thomas, Mr. Ralph John Paul, and one time for our president, Dr. Timothy Beard. One time for the former members of the Incomparable Marching 100. I know you're watching your instrument. You want to get back out there. But you can save it for next week.
They're doing a nice little scramble.
Everybody be asking me, man, does the Bluetooth actually work?
Bro, you get a month for free.
We wanted to catch all this. We're getting close to the end, so I think they're gonna do the little tuba thing. Yeah, the little famous tuba thing. Yeah, they're gonna do it.
Our head drum major. He's an alpha man. Lex Dortelis, a senior from Fort Lauderdale, Northeast High School, and president of the Beta Alpha chapter of Alpha by Alpha.
It's cool to see it up close and personal.
Let's make your mark now. The first tuber, Kimani Bryant from Fort Lauderdale. Dillard High School. Please welcome Winston Edgerton, Valdosta High School. And now, Curtis Smith, Deerfield Beach. You better do it. In all the world, there's only one. Class dismissed.
Gotta love it. Alright. Entertaining as always. So let's give that a grade. Alright. Was it enough for them to win? Alright. Let's see if they got it. Alright. So creative, I'm going to give them a 4. Breakdown is a 4. Entrance, I'm going to give them a 5. Songs, a 5. Formations, a 4. Alright. Let's see, was that enough to carry them? And I'm going to tell you the reason for the grade. Okay? They got a 22. 22. Alright. So, they did not get a dub. They did not win in this field show. And I'm going to explain why. Okay? The reason why... I feel like the formations, you got to remember 8-5 was a thing, and if some stuff just looks off with the symmetry, I can spot it out, okay, and I can tell that some of them were stacked. Some stuff can get covered up because this is a big band. I want to highlight this and this angle, but this angle was able to put pinpoint some things on the field as far as I think the piccolos or the flutes or whoever that was who was on the bottom corner. I'm gonna put an arrow on them so y'all know who I'm talking about. But it was just some 8-5 issues going on there, so that's why I gave them 4. But the rest of the band was doing good, so it's not like it was major. It was just very minor. Okay. When it comes down to the breakdown, like I said on the last one, I just think that it was just lacking just a lack of cleanness, and I think it would be good, you know. It was just, everybody was either on the, you know, they had the energy and they had enough features. I just think they just needed to be cleaned up a tad bit more. Now, granted, like later on in the season, it looked phenomenal because I've seen it at its best, those breakdowns, okay. So they was breaking it down. They showcased their talent then. Okay, it was clean. It was very crisp. I had no complaints on that one. Okay, when it comes down to the creative department, it was just needing an extra push, and it probably would have made it to a 23. But to me, it was not enough to carry them to a dub, if that makes sense. I usually give extra incentive when you have dancers, but I'm like this. I'm kind of grading FAMU just a tad bit harder because they don't have a dance team. And so I'm kind of expecting them to give me a whole lot more. Alright? So that's not me trying to bash them, but you know, they did not get a dub for this one. I seen them do better. That's all I have to say. This was not their strongest. I've seen them besides the beginning of the season when they went against Norfolk. I think those are the only two ones I can say that, you know, they kind of need just a tad bit of help on that. But the rest of the season, as far as field shows is concerned, they was kicking some ass. So with that being said, you know, they had a good season. That's their record, ladies and gentlemen. One thing I would say about this band is that this is a tough band to go against in the field, bruh. That is a tough band to go against on the field. Alright? So that's just me. Just stating that, you know. But they got my respect as far as field show wise. You know, they definitely put that work in. You know, definitely put that work in. That's a nice record for a band. That's definitely a nice record. So don't feel as if, oh, it's a bad record. No, trust me, I've seen some bad records, okay? So that's not a bad record, okay? Nothing to really truly work on as far as that. So next time y'all be hearing me talk about FAMU, it's going to pretty much be in that tier list. So if y'all here, y'all made it here, please consider subscribing and, you know, be a part of this family so you know where they stand up in that tier list, okay? So with that being said, man, I'm going to get up out of here, man. And like I tell y'all always, deuces.